cabinet, and fully deserved, without question.
No, there's no doubt in my mind they were the better side. It's been a good final. There's been some fantastic football played, great moments, and Bilbao gave it everything they could under the circumstances. They can't really argue about it. They know that they've been outclassed by a side that's got three incredibly great footballers up front. And we mentioned the 120 goals they've scored. It's not just about that. The defence is solid as well. Piqué and Mascherano didn't make many mistakes. The defenders, the fullbacks get forward. They dominated, Kevin. They had 69% possession first half. They had more shots on target, more shots off target than Bilbao. And look at the celebrations. This could take them through to El Triple, the treble. Next Saturday against Juventus. They've got 7 days to prepare, but tonight's all about winning the cup and celebrating winning the cup. So they've done the double. Let's see can they complete the triple.
And for those who had any doubts on whether this is a harmonious squad, only had to look at those pictures. The vanquished, a word for them. Jerry, you said in commentary that they improved in the second half. They really put an effort in, and Iñaki Williams got that deserved goal, as you said at the time. They can't console themselves in the fact that they'll play in Europe. That was the situation, whether they won or lost the final tonight. They will play in the Europa League next season after finishing 7th in the regulation season.
They will, but they can keep their heads high, Kevin. They've actually given a good performance, the best they could under the circumstances against this team in their own stadium. I think the fans have been brilliant. The Bilbao fans have come down, supported their team. The team's worked their socks off. They were outclassed. The first goal is just an outrageous world-class goal from Lionel Messi. Only he could have scored that goal, and that set them off. I'm so pleased that Iñaki Williams got a goal because he played really well. The young goalkeeper, Iago Herrera, has made 5 or 6 world-class saves. He's done brilliant for them. But they can walk away and say, we've done our best, we keep our heads held high.
Well, Jerry, I said about the hunger, the appetite of these, some of the most decorated footballers in history we're looking at here in the colours of Barcelona. They just want more for Xavi Hernandez. His last ever game at the Camp Nou. What a way to bow out for him.
Absolutely. It's the icing on the cake. He's won that many trophies now as a player. It's just crazy. But he is still class. You know, he's come on in the second half. You wouldn't have known the difference between whether Iniesta was on the park or not. He's done everything right. And it's a great celebration. It's a great send-off for him. But this Barcelona team goes from strength to strength. I just wonder what's going to happen next week against Juve. They're going to be a little bit more resilient and have a little bit more up front maybe than Athletic Bilbao.
A reminder of the full-time score then in the 2015 Copa del Rey final. Athletic Bilbao 1, Barcelona 3. Well, you talked about Juventus, Jerry, in Berlin next week. With no disrespect to them, they're a good side. They look to me a side, though, that don't have great pace and might just be tailor-made for Barcelona. Yeah,
that's a possibility, but you saw the determination against Real Madrid, who were starting to improve. I thought Real Madrid disappointed, really, because they didn't have the free-flowing Benzema, and there was players like Bale just coming back after an injury. And I think another day, Real Madrid probably would have beaten them, but I'll always say, why did they sell Morata? You know, sell Morata, and he scores the goal that knocks him out. Reminds me of the Morientes situation with Monaco, Kevin, when they put him out on loan and he knocked him out as well for the semi-finals. So, you know, they've got some decent players, but, and you can see the Basque fans are really enjoying themselves. Dani Alves, what a good game he had, and he's so important. Him and Messi, they're best mates on and off the park. You can see the combination in the football. They're always looking for each other, and they do link so well. But Juventus is a more difficult opposition in a final, but there's no doubt in my mind that this Barcelona side can beat anybody.
Well, I have to say it was nice to see the players applauding one another after a feisty final 5 minutes when tempers were certainly frayed. And all forgotten about upon the final whistle. There's Muniain in the foreground there, the youngster who was injured for this final. Messi gets a pat of congratulations from his head coach, Luis Enrique. A word for Enrique again, Jerry, on this his first season.
Oh, it just gets better. He's done so well. He's emulated everything that Guardiola has done, and he could actually go on and do the treble. And I can't give him high enough praise. He was a fabulous player, absolutely fantastic player, and he's looking like he's going to be a fabulous manager as well. I think the King of Spain is waiting to come down and present the trophy.
Well, they travelled in their hordes down from the Basque Country, and their players applauding that support, which has been absolutely magnificent, as he fully expected it would be for Athletic today. They are amongst the very best fans in world football, those who support Athletic Bilbao. Such a close bond between the players and the supporters. It was a great story about former Athletic Bilbao player Joseba Echevarria, who had his testimonial a few years ago. A little winger who was a great servant to the club over many years, and just to underline that sense of community at Athletic Bilbao, that testimonial was played between the first team and 200 local school kids. Finished 5-3 for Athletic. Echevarria got a couple of goals on the day, but it just merely served to underline what a wonderful, close-knit community they are up there in the Basque Country.
They're a family. They're a big family, and that was a great touch. I didn't know that story. It's a great story, though, Kevin. And you can hear the fans applauding, and they're taking a little walk round and applauding their fans, basically for giving them the time to come down, all the way down. Was it 600 kilometers all the way down to support their team?
Nice to see the Barcelona players applauding the Athletic support as well there, whilst their players were receiving the adulation. There's Carlos Gerpegui, who's missed out yet again on a Copa del Rey final. He didn't play the veteran defender in either of the 09 and 2012 defeats to Barca. But what team in world football could have lived with Barcelona in that kind of mood today?
Not just Barcelona's Messi. The first goal was just ridiculous, Kevin. Honestly, he's performed magic once again. We've seen him do it before, but he keeps producing it time and time again when it was required or needed. He just pops up with some of the most unbelievable football you've ever seen.
Well, they defined an era, didn't they, under Guardiola when he took over in 2008. This is now 18 trophies in the past 7 seasons.
They're going from strength to strength. They're closing the gap on Real Madrid. They were 32 league titles, and Barcelona were 22. Now they're 23, and they've added the Copa del Rey. There's King Felipe. Yeah, could see him. He's the tall one in the middle, and he'll be presenting the trophy very soon. But it's 27 Copa del Reys now for Barcelona as they edge away from Athletic Bilbao. But you can't argue with the facts. They were the best team on the day, on the night, and they deserved it.
Just recalling Barcelona's La Liga title success as well this season. Finished 2 points ahead of Real Madrid. They earned it with a match to spare, with a 1-0 win away to Atletico Madrid. But we can just see the anguish and the hurt amongst these relatively young and inexperienced Athletic Bilbao players. Maybe they'll come again.
That's what you have to take out of it. You take the experience, Kevin, and some of the players have played there. It's their first time. There was only Iraola who had actually played in a Copa del Rey final before and had that experience. Now they've got the experience, and they'll be hungry to do it once again next year, and let's hope they come back for more.
Adriano there, joining in the celebrations. Didn't play a part in this final, but is a Copa del Rey winner in the past. With Sevilla, he and Dani Alves won it in their days down in Andalusia before coming here and earning a trophy-laden career with Barcelona. it stops here. Don't believe it for 1 minute. The hunger remains, and it is another wonderful Barcelona team. If ever, Jerry, there was a time to be banned from a transfer window, as they will be for this coming summer's transfer window, it's probably now, because they have so much strength now in this squad.
Oh, we were looking at the squads earlier, Kevin, and I was talking about young Samper, Sergi Samper, and I said what a quality player he is. I've loved Rafinha this season. Rafinha's played so well, but they've got a lot of good players who are sitting there, and if the opportunity comes along, I saw Sergio Roberto play towards at the end of the season against Deportivo. Again, he done well, needs to play more football. It's got Adama Traore, another one we like. And here come the Bilbao. Well, it's Gerpegi.
Carlos Gerpegi picks up the runner-up plate and dedicates it to all the magnificent athletic support.
Along with Gorka Irathoth, the more experienced goalkeeper, but he couldn't fault the young goalkeeper tonight, who I think had a fabulous game. Give him credit, young Iago Herrera.
Referee Carlos Velasco Caballo refereed this cup showpiece in Spain very well. Xavi Hernandez is now very shortly to move forward to be greeted by King Felipe alongside Andres Iniesta. I think they're going to hold, Jerry, this trophy together.
Well, twin captains, aren't they?
A wonderful pair, a wonderful football club, and it's Barcelona, Copa del Rey winners 2015. What a way for Xavi Hernandez to leave the Camp Nou, a winner yet again. '24th trophy in the career of Xavi. One more to come in the Champions League. We'll find out next Saturday in Berlin.
Absolutely, and look at the smile on Lionel Messi's face. He just loves all of this. He loves coming up onto the stage and performing for all the fans. And he's done it so often, Kevin. You don't doubt he wouldn't do it again next week.
Well, when they defined that era, they built the team around Xavi's ability, his authority, his intelligence. All of us believe he'll go on to coach this great club one day. Perhaps he already has. The coach on the pitch, encouraging, cajoling, schooling his teammates through these past 7 seasons and those 18 trophies. And what we have to recall, Jerry, is it didn't happen on a plate either for Xavi Hernandez and Andres Iniesta at the start. They weren't winning trophy after trophy in those early years.
Well, no, because in the early years he wasn't getting enough games. Xavi Hernandez, he was nearly going to go because Pep Guardiola was keeping them out. But when they did start and they started to build this fabulous football team and this fabulous club, things really change quickly, and winning is a good habit, and that's what they've done. They've got a winning formula. They've had to tinker with it a little bit last year. It didn't work out. This year it has worked out, and it could go on to greater things. They could emulate what Guardiola did, and I didn't think I'd see a better side than that side in 2009, but we've got another side here who I think can be just as good, if not better.
Barcelona will certainly be dedicating this Copa del Rey win to their late head coach Tito Villanova. They named their training ground after Villanova, still sadly missed here at the Camp Nou. And the trophy now with the Victoria squad. They don't show any signs of being any less disappointed with the latest trophy, do they?
No, they don't, and it's like they expect now. They demand. They had a fruitless season last year. It didn't work out for them, but they've come back, and that's what they've done. They've learned a big lesson. I said about Messi after the World Cup, he was rejuvenated when he came back. He looked like the old Messi, and that's what we've got. And that's why he's sitting on 58 goals this season now. And the front three's got 120, and they've now won their second trophy, and there's a third one up for grabs next week. All things being equal, Kevin, we could be talking about them being the treble winners and have emulated what Pep Guardiola did, and this is a side that really does need to be reckoned with.
The famous Barcelona club song ringing around this giant arena. Look at these. Well, that face says it all, doesn't it, from Xavi? What a miss. We'll certainly miss him. The whole of Catalonia will. Where do you place him in terms of Spanish footballers, Jerry? You played in this country back in the 80s. You played against some great players. You've commentated on dozens of other fine performers. Where is Xavi in your list?
For consistency, I don't think there's anybody better. You know, what he's won with his country, with his club, what he's achieved as a player, as a person, I don't think anybody can emulate. I don't think anybody can equal. I think he's up there. He's number one for me. 5-6 years in a row, nobody could pass the ball better than he could, short or long, and he proved it by winning trophy after trophy. He started a revolution with the Spanish Football Federation when they went on the search of trophies for the European Championships and in for the World Cups, and Barcelona were part of that.
And that first goal tonight from Leo Messi, I mean, we've almost, in all our years covering Spanish football, run out of superlatives for the little man, but it's a goal we'll remember for a long time to come.
I don't think anybody else in the world could have scored that goal. That's what I said at the time. Nobody could have done what Messi did. In that position and the angle where he was going, there was nowhere to go, and yet he produces it. He does it week in, week out. He is an absolute genius.
We're just looking at that front three again. You almost have to prize them apart. You know, that harmony on the pitch, and it's so obvious that they have it off the pitch too.
Yeah, that's the key for me. That's why they're one masculine club more than one club. They're a family. They love coming into training. They love playing football, and they love the way they entertain. And they all assist each other. They work for each other, and they've actually just dovetailed. The three of them have dovetailed absolutely perfectly. And that's the problem Juventus have got next week. How do they stop the front three?
Just a little all-Brazilian photograph there. One for the scrapbook. And looking back at some of the moments in the second half here. And Messi with a decisive goal, really, at 3-0. There was no way back.
There was, but then you have to look at his movement and the way the defenders are. They're a little bit static, but he's got the initiative. He's got the brain to say, I know where this ball's going, and I'm going to go there. And he gets half a yard on the defenders. Unfortunately, it was a young fullback, Bustinza, who was a little bit slow to react, but Messi isn't slow to react, and he just gobbles them up very quickly, sticks it in the back of the net, and that was the game over as a contest.
Despite the fact that made it 3-0, Athletic Bilbao still found their normal indomitable spirit and certainly deserved to get on the score sheet here.
Yes, I was so pleased. And young Iñaki Williams, who I think did really well in his first cup final. You know, and he's only a young player that's came to the fore this season. He scored an excellent goal. He had a very, very good game. And you're going to hear more about this young man. There he is. And he's out-muscled Busquets. You know, you can see he's fighting for the line of the ball. He wins it, gets a lovely flick on it, and they deservedly got that goal. I was so pleased for him and Athletic Bilbao that they got the goal.
27 Copa Del Rey wins now. I mean, they're almost yearly entrance into the cup final showpiece. It was worth noting that they'd only won one of their previous three, lost a couple to Real Madrid. They've certainly made up for 12 months ago. Yeah, that's the disappointment, and as I say, they learned a lesson, Kevin. You know, last year was a poor season for them. They didn't produce any trophies. Then they had the World Cup, obviously, and Spain didn't participate particularly well in the World Cup. Argentina got to the final, and Messi didn't get the trophy he'd love to have won for his nation. But he came back from the disappointment. He got himself rejuvenated. He started afresh, and the whole team started afresh. It was as if Luis Enrique got them down and said, right, this is a new season, let's go and show them what we can really do. And he's guided them, and they've responded, and they are in full see Xavi coming back and being head coach of this club one day?
Absolutely, but I don't think it'll be for at least another 3 or 4 years. You know, he's got a little bit of playing to do. He'll want to go into management, do maybe a couple of years of management. So 4, maybe 5 years down the line, who's to say he won't be back at the club in a coaching capacity?
They might even make him president one day, although I think Gerard Piqué's got the first down on that, hasn't he?
Gerard Piqué. Do you know what? He can't be the comedian of the club, but what a season he's had. So solid. Really has been so solid. He's had a great last 5-6 months and responded so well. But a lot of players have come to the fore. It's not just about one man. It's not all about Messi. Messi will tell you he can't perform if the others don't perform. It's a real team unit, and they're playing great football at the moment.
Well, this is going to be one long party in Catalonia. The players are not in any mood to leave it, are they? The fans lapping it up. Luis Enrique won't be worried at the moment about the expending of this extra energy. He'll let his players have full reign before they get their professional minds to the job in the Champions League next Saturday.
No, but they can relax a little bit. You can see the fun here. There, Suarez went down and then pretended he had an injury and he was going to get substitute mate. You know, but that's a bit of fun. That's the banter that you get when you're in a team and you're enjoying your company with your teammates. And look at that togetherness. There's the 3. Messi, Suarez and Neymar, all pals, and they do the same. Look at him. I seen him do this. I seen him do this at Wembley when they beat Manchester United. He went and he got one of his teammates got on his shoulders, Piqué, and took the nets down at Wembley, and the groundsman was chasing him. It was hilarious. But look, he's cutting the hole in the net. That's the impish nature of Gerard Piqué.
Well, he certainly had an excellent season, Gerard Piqué. A Copa del Rey winner again. I talked earlier about looking at some of the most celebrated footballers in the history of this wonderful game. And I don't think they're about to stop right now. Another superlative performance from Lionel Messi. Congratulations to Barcelona FC, Copa del Rey winners 2015. Commiserations to Athletic Bilbao. And as we bid farewell to you from the Camp Nou Stadium, we'll look back on how the cup was won by Barcelona in 2015.